This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Hey, welcome back to YCN Sports Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Zerhide, joined again by Dustin Ribellini. And now we're going to talk about the Boston Celtics having a very good season. Right now, 33-10 on top of the East. And I think they're just slightly behind the Golden State Warriors for the best record in the NBA. Having a really good season. Right now on a 6-game win streak. Starting to play really well like they did at the beginning of the year. So right now, I mean, what do you think the key to their success has been?
I think that the way this team has come together with so many new pieces, that's what we worried about going into the year. They only had 4 players returning from last year's team. And to me, as great as Kyrie Irving was watching from afar, as Celtics fans, we've seen how great he is up close. This guy is taken to a leadership role with this young team, maybe not putting up the big points every night. That's what I like to see in wins last week against the Timberwolves. Is he only had like 10 or 11 points, but he still had 9 rebounds, 8 assists, really leading a young team that's coming together. And I think that the biggest key is Brad Stevens. This guy is turned into one of the best coaches in the NBA, respected by his peers in the league and by other players. He's held this team together. You know, they had the big winning streak to begin. Then they had a little rough patch where I think they were right around 500 for about 10, 12 games, which is going to happen. The NBA season is 82 games. It's up and down. Now they're back on top with a 6-game win streak, and this team has a lot of promise going forward to the second half of the season.
Yeah, I think Danny Ainge has really done an amazing job with this team. I think when he signed Brad Stevens to a contract, people questioned it. I mean, he'd never coached in the NBA before, just a college coach. But every player you talk to, every executive, everyone has really good things to say about Brad Stevens. And really young guys like Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. I mean, a lot of people talk about Jayson Tatum as the Rookie of the Year.
It's possible. It's very possible. I think the Celtics need to continue to play well, and he needs to play well. The one thing you not maybe worry or concerned about is he's still a rookie. He's played 43 games now. He never played more than 35 in college. So you wonder, is he going to ever wear down? But to me, he's a guy that, even though he's 19, he plays like he's 29 or 30. This guy is ahead of the game. He makes the right play, and down the stretch, they go to him in crunch time when Kyrie's not on the floor or maybe he's not having a big game. So that's what's impressive to me. I think that Ben Simmons is probably still the leader for Rookie of the Year, but Jayson Tatum has a very good chance. But either way, what Danny Ainge did to trade down and get Jayson Tatum and probably a good pick from the Lakers next year can't be overlooked. This kid's the real deal. Yeah,
Danny Ainge has really put this team in a great position. And Jayson Tatum, I think, at one point this year, maybe he still is, he was leading the league in, I think, like three-point percentage.
He was. Yep.
I mean, that was one of his biggest questions. Could he hit threes? And yeah, like you said, they've been going to him at the end of games, and he's been knocking down big shots. And so their defense has been really solid, and I think that's one of Brad Stevens' strengths. I've said this before. In college, a lot of people say that's the last really level. Teams play really good defense. And so with all these young draft picks, all these young players just coming out of college, it's kind of the perfect scenario with Brad Stevens coaching them to play really good defense all the time.
They are playing good defense. You know, again, they had a couple games in the middle of the season, which is going to happen. But it's not like it doesn't seem like they're hounding you up, but they make the right moves. They make the right adjustments, the right matchups here and there. Al Horford is the leader of that defense. He can match up with a 3, 4, or 5. We've seen him play Karl Anthony Towns. We've seen him play LeBron James. You know, he's played really well this year. I think Kyrie's buying into the defense. Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier really taking that next step defensively. Yeah, in the NBA, if you hold a team under 100 points, you're going to win most games. We've seen that, and that's what's happening right now.
Right, yeah. I mean, their defense, it always seems like they help so well, and someone always has a hand in the guy in the shooter's face. But just imagine, I mean, I think their offense could just use another shooter. Imagine if they had Gordon Hayward on this team, right?
That's what as Celtics fans, we're all wondering and saying, how good could it be? And, you know, a little more optimism yesterday. Gordon Hayward was pictured. There were photos going around without a brace on, with nothing on. He was walking like normal, so maybe there's a chance he comes back. I don't think the Celtics are going to rush him back. Sitting where they are right now, they're not going to say, hey, let's rush this guy back. If he's healthy and the doctors clear him, that's great. But even still, this team's in a good position. I still would like to see a small adjustment on offense because I think the bench, with Marcus Morris being in and out of the lineup, Al Horford a little banged up, I'd like to see one more addition, whether it be the trade or the player exception they got from Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, I think maybe a player, some people have talked about Marcus Smart maybe shooting a little too much. I think he's definitely improved some, but yeah, they could use a little more help on offense. The Raptors are right behind the Celtics, 3 games back. I mean, that was kind of surprising to me. I know they've been playing really well of late, but come the end of this season, going into the playoffs, where do you see the Celtics finishing?
I think the Celtics will get the #1 seed in the East. Now, do I think they're going to win the the Eastern Conference Finals, that's a whole other story.
Right.
I think Cleveland, even though they're not playing well now, we've seen Isaiah Thomas getting back a little bit healthy now. We got to see how when he's fully into the lineup. The one thing that concerns me about Cleveland, they're the 29th ranked team defensively.
Right.
That does not win in the NBA. They have to clear things up on defense first.
Right, I agree with you. I think the Celtics will have the top seed, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will talk about the Red Sox and their hopefully some off-season moves coming up. But we'll be right back. You've been watching YCN Sports Talk.